The miracles of Jesus, signs of divine power. Wonders in a weary land. In 30 CE, the dusty roads of Galilee and Judea carried whispers of a Nazarene named Jesus, whose deeds defied nature. Under Rome's oppressive rule, where taxes crushed and soldiers loomed, Jewish hearts clung to prophecies of a Messiah who would heal and deliver. Isaiah 35 verses 5-6. Jesus, now deep in his ministry, performed miracles that shook the skeptical and kindled faith. From healing the broken to commanding the seas, his acts were signs of divine power, fulfilling Isaiah's vision of opened eyes and unstopped ears. As stars blazed over the Sea of Galilee, the khoj, the discovery of his divine authority, was unfolding, drawing crowds to revere him as God's son, while others, fearing his power, accused him of blasphemy, mistaking divinity for idolatry. Chapter 1. Healing the Broken. In Capernaum, Jesus entered the synagogue, his presence quiet yet commanding. A man, blind from birth, sat in the shadows, his hands trembling. The crowd hushed as Jesus approached, his voice gentle, "Receive your sight." John 9 verses 6-7. He mixed clay with spittle, anointed the man's eyes, and sent him to wash in Siloam's pool. The man returned, his eyes clear, shouting, "I see." The crowd gasped, some praising God, others whispering, "How can a man do this?" Leah, the baker who revered Jesus, witnessed it, her faith soaring. "He is the Messiah," she told Nathan, a disciple. But Ezra, the Pharisee, scowled, muttering, "This violates the Sabbath. He is no prophet." His accusations, rooted in fear of Jesus' divine claims, echoed charges of idolatry, per your April 16, 2025 query. The healed man, Amos, followed Jesus, his life transformed. "I was blind, now I see," he told skeptics, his joy unshaken. In a village near Bethsaida, Jesus met Sarah, a mother whose daughter was possessed, writhing in torment. "Lord, have mercy," Sarah cried. Matthew 15 verse 22. Jesus cast out the spirit, and the girl rose, her eyes calm. Sarah fell at his feet, weeping, "You are God's son." Lucius, a Roman centurion watching, noted, "No healer in Rome does this." Nicodemus, a scholar seeking Jesus, saw the miracle and pondered Isaiah's prophecy. "The eyes of the blind shall be opened." Isaiah 35 verse 5. Chapter 2. Feeding the multitude. By the Sea of Galilee, thousands followed Jesus, their hunger growing. Philip, a disciple, worried, "We have no food for them." John 6 verse 5. A boy offered 5 loaves and 2 fish, his small basket dwarfed by the crowd. Jesus blessed the food, his hands raised under a starry sky, and said, "Distribute it." John 6 verse 11. The disciples obeyed, and the food multiplied, feeding 5,000 men, plus women and children. Baskets overflowed with leftovers, the crowd roaring, "This is the prophet." John 6 verse 14. Leah, helping distribute, wept, her hands full of bread. Amos, now a follower, ate, his sight a daily miracle. Ezra, spying, sneered, a trick to sway the masses. But Nathan, passing bread, countered, "This is God's power." Lucius, observing, reported, "He feeds without wealth." What is he? The miracle, a sign of divine provision, echoed the manna of Moses, Exodus 16, fulfilling prophecy. Under the stars, Jesus prayed, the lake reflecting heaven's light, his khoj revealing God's care. Chapter 3. Walking on water. After the feeding, Jesus sent his disciples across the Sea of Galilee by boat, retreating to pray. A storm arose, waves battering the boat. Peter, James, and John fought the oars, fear gripping them. In the fourth watch, Jesus walked on the water, his figure glowing faintly under the stars. Matthew 14 verse 25. The disciples cried, "A ghost." But Jesus called, "Take heart, it is I." Matthew 14 verse 27. Peter, bold, stepped out, walking briefly before sinking, his faith faltering. Jesus lifted him, saying, "Why did you doubt?" Matthew 14 verse 31. The wind ceased and the disciples worshipped, "Truly, you are the Son of God." Matthew 14 verse 33. Nathan on the boat fell to his knees, his heart ablaze. Leah, hearing later, shared with Sarah, he commands the sea. Ezra in Capernaum dismissed it, fishermen's tales. But Nicodemus, meeting Peter, saw truth in his eyes, recalling Psalm 89 verse 9, "You rule the raging of the sea." Lucius, hearing from a soldier, questioned, "What man walks on water?" The miracle, defying nature, deepened faith, but fueled Ezra's accusations of blasphemous power. Chapter 4. Raising Lazarus. In Bethany, Lazarus, a friend of Jesus, fell ill. His sisters, Mary and Martha, sent for Jesus, but he delayed, saying, "This will glorify God." John 11 verse 4. Lazarus died, and the village mourned. Jesus arrived, his face heavy with grief. Martha met him, crying, "If you had been here, he would not die." John 11 verse 21. Jesus replied, "I am the resurrection and the life." John 11 verse 25. At the tomb, under a starry sky, he prayed, then shouted, "Lazarus, come out." John 11 verse 43. Lazarus emerged, bound in cloths, alive. The crowd wept, many believing, "He is the Christ." Sarah, present, embraced Mary, her faith unshaken. Leah and Amos, hearing, praised God. Nicodemus, witnessing, whispered, "This fulfills Isaiah." But Ezra with Pharisees plotted, his signs threaten the temple. John 11 verse 48, their fear of his divinity growing. Lucius, reporting to Pilate, said, "He raises the dead. Is he a god?" The miracle, Jesus' greatest sign, was his khoj, proving his power over death, yet intensifying opposition. Chapter 5. A Legacy of Signs. By 31 CE, Jesus' miracles spread across Judea. In Jericho, he healed blind Bartimaeus, who followed, shouting, "Son of David." Mark 10 verses 46 to 52. In Cana, he turned water to wine, a quiet sign of joy. John 2 verses 1 to 11. Each miracle drew followers, but also enemies. Ezra's reports fueled the Sanhedrin's resolve to arrest Jesus, their view of his divinity as idolatrous, blinding them. Nicodemus, defending him, said, "His signs are God's." John 3 verse 2, but was silenced. Leah, Sarah, and Amos shared the miracles, their lives testimonies. Lucius, reassigned, carried tales of Jesus to Rome, his heart stirred. Nathan preached, "His signs point to salvation."